Let's talk about shares of Amazon. They're higher today after Evercore ISI raised its target on the stock to $1,965, $1,965. If you're playing at home, price target goes up from $1,800. It's our call of the day. Thoughtful analyst Anthony DiClemente bumps it up. Fangs are finally awake. Shannon Saccocia, who owns this stock.
So we agree with the call. We actually we think that while margins we may have lower margins kind of going through 2019. 2018 was a great year for margin based on 2017 investments that Amazon made. We still think that the amount of scale that they're going to be able to get from a margin perspective from AWS, fulfillment, and advertising make this a continued hold, if not an ad here.
Josh?
I'm long the stock. I agree with everything Shannon said. And I look.
Do you agree with everything that DiClemente has to say?
Yeah.
Right? Shannon owns it. We got it. He's looking for 15 more percent.
Yeah. So, look, the fundamental call makes sense. And I do think that the idea that people are more focused now on gross profit and other measures of cash flow as opposed to just pure revenue growth makes sense. It's just the law of large numbers. There's a limit to how long a company can go on having, 30% growth as far as the eye can see in some of their various business units. But Amazon always finds new levers to pull. Keep in mind how much we're talking about advertising. It's a business that did not exist 24 months ago. It's truly extraordinary. So to say that, all right, the growth story is coming to an end because it's so big, I think misses how easily Amazon has found itself working its way into virtually every sector of the economy, it feels like. Don't fall out of your chair when they do finance. So I like it. I'm sticking with it. I do think it looks very similar to the S&P. Rallied right into resistance. 1760 seems to be a number where sellers have shown up. And so maybe it'll have some trouble getting through there. The momentum people will wait before they want to get long. So it could just remain in this no man's land for a little while. That's okay.
So good point about the momentum people are going to wait. Maybe more broadly, they want to see that universe of stocks start to get back momentum.
Yeah, they'd rather pay up once you break through these critical levels.
Are you going to get a pickup in momentum? There's been more of the
strategy?
Sort of in tech. Yeah. Well, more of a value bump than the high growth names, which have underperformed.
Sure.
From the bottom of December.
And generally, I think what tends to happen with momentum as a strategy usage in the markets is as you move along in the year, as you get towards July and August, and you see managers are underperforming the street, and you've got a market that continues to grind harder, then they tend to utilize and you see the momentum build. So possibly later in the year, I think that happens. I think, first of all, Anthony is well below the street on this. I think there's 46 buys, there's 2 holds, and there's 1 sell.
The average target, you're right. The average target is $2,122, $2,122.
So he's well below it. I think Josh hits on something that's very interesting, and that is that Amazon has done a very good job in the last decade in recreating, innovating, and introducing new business models. And you think about the embedded value that Anthony assigns to AWS at $990 a share. We all know not necessarily that's where Amazon began its corporate mission. So they've done a great job there. You had the announcement on Friday that they're now going to enter the grocery business. Not exactly sure how that lines up for them, but they've been exceptional at innovating.
It's fascinating.
That would have been a negative announcement that they're going into brick and mortar. But look, I'm a little worried about the AWS business because I own Microsoft, and you also have Alphabet that have big businesses there and growing. The cloud business is a commodity business. Advertising is going to be what carries the growth, I think, going forward. Not that they're not growing otherwise, but that's what's going to have to maintain the growth and pick up for what I think will be declining margins.
Private label products is going to be bigger than advertising.
But I think
selling their own stuff.
Right.
But I think the innovation is the key part of that, because that's why people have been selling Apple, right? Because they're not innovative. Amazon is innovative, and they've shown that they can deliver on that innovation and monetize that. So
when Amazon goes into the sub Whole Foods grocery level, which is frankly the biggest part of grocery, and all of a sudden, like in Whole Foods where you see the 360 brand, all of a sudden you see Amazon Essentials produce, Amazon Essentials dairy, Amazon doing their own versions of the most popular, and then you say, oh, that's why consumer packaged goods stocks are falling off a cliff. That's why Buffett knows now that he overpaid for Kraft Heinz. If Amazon goes into the grocery business, believe me, It's not to make a half of 1% selling someone else's stuff. It's to sell their own and endear themselves even more so with their customers.
That's not a new business model. That's what every supermarket has.
And it's a great business model.
Right.
It's frankly the only way they make money these days.